Picture this. It's the late 90s. People are still listening to boy bands like there's no tomorrow. Almost everything in product placement is totally radical cool and or tubular, and video games are becoming more and more popular. As a child of the 90s, I was of course interested in these video games, along with all things cool and radical. In my defense, I was 9. So naturally, when going over a friend's house and seeing this game about skateboarding in a blue cartridge, I was a bit more than intrigued. Yes, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater not only proved to be a great success in sales, but it was also very highly critically acclaimed at the time. Admittedly, over the years, the Tony Hawk franchise has lost quite a bit of steam, and even now it doesn't look like Activision has any plans on reviving it. But take heart, for there has been a re-release of the original Tony Hawk with Tony Hawk HD, which has recently been released for the Xbox Live Arcade. So, is this a remake worth checking out, or just a money-grabbing scheme hoping to play on my emotions and nostalgia? Well, let's take a look, shall we? Now, if you've played the original, or many other Tony Hawk games for that matter, then you probably already know that there is no story to speak of, so let's get down to gameplay. There are 3 primary modes of play for single player. The first mode is of course the career mode. In this mode, you take the skater of your choice and must complete challenges in each map. Completing these challenges will unlock money, which can be used to upgrade your skater's stats, buy new boards, and even unlock extra moves. But of course, completing a certain amount of challenges in each level will in turn unlock another level. There are 7 levels in total, and they are a mixture of levels between Tony Hawk 1 and 2. There are classic levels such as the warehouse, the hangar, the mall, and one of my personal favorites, Phoenix Downhill Jam. Along with this mode, there is of course Free Skate, which allows you to get a feel for the maps, Single Session, which allows you to see how many points you can score in 2 minutes, and then there is Hawkman and Big Head Survival Mode. In Hawkman, there are 3 types of pellets spread throughout each level: green, yellow, and red. Green pellets can only be obtained through manuals, yellow by grinding, and red by aerial maneuvers. The quicker you manage to obtain all of these pellets, the more money you will obtain for that run. If you can't manage to get all of the pellets before time runs out, then, well, you fail. Big Head Survival Mode is a bit stranger. In this mode, the size of your head is constantly increasing. In order for you to prevent its inevitable explosion, you must land tricks. The higher the score of your trick or combo, the greater amount your head will shrink. But be warned, as time goes on, the rate of the increase on the growth of your head will also increase. If you manage to survive the full amount of time required, or just enough time to qualify for a certain amount of cash, you will win. Aside from career mode, all of these modes can be played with up to 3 players over Xbox Live, including the classic graffiti mode. Now for the reviewing. The first thing you'll notice about this game is the lack of characters from the original 2 games. As a matter of fact, there are only 4, those being Rodney Mullen, Andrew Reynolds, Eric Costin, and Tony Hawk. As a player of Bob Burnquist and Kareem Campbell, I found this most disappointing. But hey, at least this game lets you play as your avatar, because that's what you've always wanted, right? Right? Guys? Well, on a brighter note, I highly approve of the soundtrack. There are 14 tracks in total, with 1 being from the first Tony Hawk, 6 from the second, and 7 new tracks. While I personally would have preferred more tracks from the original games, the new tracks that they do choose all manage to fit in with the style and tone of the others, so it's not all bad. But how does this game work on a gameplay level? Well, if you've played the originals, you pretty much know exactly how this game handles. Seriously, this game manages to keep the same feel in the controls while upgrading for modern consoles, and believe it or not, that isn't a bad thing. What's even better is that they have also added the ability for manuals, ledge stalls, and wall rides, all of which were not included in the first game. Although you unfortunately cannot get off your board, but personally I think that would have felt extremely out of place in this game, so I'll allow it. As for the challenges in these levels, most of them are the exact same as they were in the original games, with a few tweaks, such as the original hidden videotape being replaced with a hidden DVD. Although, honestly, nowadays it may as well have been replaced with a hidden Blu-ray player. As for the graphics, color me impressed. The makers of this game actually took the original files from the previous games in order to perfectly recreate these maps. Even aside from the levels, the skaters all have received a makeover and all do look like they should in a game that is released in this day and age. So, what are my final thoughts on this return to my childhood? Well, personally, I had a lot of fun with it. I really liked the attention to detail in the levels and gameplay, and it was a blast playing these again without having to go out and buy another N64. But can I recommend this game? Well, this game is lacking many of the classic skaters, and there are unfortunately only 7 maps on which to play, although it has been confirmed that they will be adding maps from the third game. But on the other hand, this game will only run you $15. So here's my suggestion. If you already own the first 2 games and aren't bothered by the graphics, don't bother with this game. But if you haven't played these games in a while and wish to take a trip down memory lane with better graphics and decent gameplay, I can recommend this game to you. So until next time, this is E-Dog. Now if you'll excuse me, I still need to unlock Officer Dick. See you next time.